And Jim, what about you for like items? Do you have anything on spinning or news?
Oh yeah. So I got a lot of stuff.
Cool.
Start off with the Blind Guardian Revisited for Somewhere Far Beyond. This arrived wicked, wicked. It's re-recorded, definitely updated. I know they redid it in 2007 with a remix, but this is actually really cool. Definitely worth the money to pick it up for fans. You guys, I think, will really, really like it.
Cool.
Ken, I picked this up. Patriarchs in Black.
Oh yeah, that's a great
Um,
item. Yeah.
you did a review on this, I think a month or so ago, maybe
Yep.
a little longer, and sold me on it. I mean, I'm a big Typo Negative fan, so that's really, really cool. I also got the new Hammerfall, which
Ooh, that's good.
it's almost like a symphonic kind of weak power metal week for me, but this one's really, really cool. I really like it. It's Hammerfall, so I mean, what's really not to like? You're getting what
True.
you're getting with it, and it's awesome. And last but not least, I got a thrash band from Brazil called Blackening. This album, Awakening Rage, I did a review on it
Cool.
last year. It came up in my sort of kind of, somebody bought this, they bought that, and I was like, oh yeah, I never did pick that up. Got it for a good price, and it's more of a blackened thrash band, but really, really cool.
Okay.
But awesome, awesome band for sure. So just a few things I'm spinning there, guys.
Cool. Any news items, Jim? Or
Not really. I mean, I would assume you're going to bring up Death Angel, so I kind of.
actually, I wasn't going to because I figured
Oh,
one of you.
okay.
I figured one of
Well,
you
then I'll
guys
bring
were
it
going to bring it up. Like I for sure, I was thinking you, Jim.
Yeah,
Actually.
okay. So, the news that got released a few days ago was that they've been there. They had to drop out of the Wasp tour for the North American tour, which kind of sucks because I know, and they're being replaced by Armored Saint, which is really, really cool. But Armored Saint just kind of came through, with Queensryche and that, to a lot of dates, and nothing wrong with that. But I think I know Billy made a comment I saw that he'd much rather see them with Death Angel, and I think
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so would I. But then we find out that Death Angel actually, there's a little bit of heated strife there in the band.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the members have spoken out that it's, and just judging by what's been said, is essentially they're kind of left kind of holding the bag a bit and waiting to see what Mark does with Kerry King. And I think the dates for Kerry King's South American tour they clash with the dates of this tour. So, hey, everybody's got an opinion on it. I'm reading a lot of stuff. Maybe they could find a new singer to help fill some dates in or something. I mean, Death Angel's such a hard touring band. They've been everywhere. As I think Billy and Ken, you guys have seen them a couple times last year or whatever. And it's kind of sad, but I mean, I guess you look at it from Mark's point of view, you get a chance to jump on with Kerry King, and I'm hearing that their tour with Lamb of God is just absolutely kicking it, and they're doing really, really well. I think they've got like a 45-minute set, but I think it's being very well received, and I can imagine probably the payday on that's a little bit better. And I did
Yeah.
the review for Horror Metal Sounds on Kerry King's new album there a couple of
Yep.
months, I think in June when it was released. And in my sort of background checking and stuff, there was an interview there, and some of the members were talking about that as soon as the touring's kind of slows down in the winter, they're jumping right back in 2005. And I think Kerry has some of the new album already written, and I think they've
Mm.
already got some stuff done, and they're planning to hit it out in, I think, the spring and summer of next year, 2025, a new album. So if that's the case, I can see this becoming maybe a more permanent gig, maybe a more permanent thing, I'm a huge Death Angel fan, so I wouldn't want to see that come to an end for Mark. So
Well,
Yeah.
Rob sings. He could sing it. So I mean, why not get him
yeah,
to sing? You know.
exactly.
Like this
But
came up. I don't remember. Was it during our Death Angel podcast where we were saying,
Yeah,
yeah.
how will this hurt Death Angel?
Yeah.
I don't know. We were all, but like, yeah. I mean, I thought for sure it was going to be the nail in the coffin. That Kerry would be like very strict with Mark, and Kerry would come first, and this seems to be the case, right? It's kind
Yeah.
of sad. Uh,
Totally sad.
right? Like, because the band's been together so long. Like,
Yeah.
I hear you, Jim. Like it's a bigger paycheck. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
And he's getting older, right? He's not going to be doing this like in 30 years from now, Mark. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's so rough on his bandmates, right? Like they're
Yeah.
left with nothing, right? Touring is the only way they make money.
Yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
right. And I mean, to happen 2 weeks before the tour starts too is
Yeah.
just not cool. I mean, kudos to Armored Saint, and and hats off to Armored Saint. Billy, I think you posted from the Metal Voice that article
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
John brought a fan from the hospital. Was it Copenhagen?
Yeah.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
stage,
It
and
was cool.
yeah, that was really cool. I mean, a class act all the way around. For me, I mean, I haven't seen. If I may decide to make the trek to go see Wasp in Quebec City, it's a bit closer. Uh, if I can in November, and seeing Armored, I've never seen Armored Saint, so it'll be cool. But I really got to admit, I'd never seen Death Angel, one of my favorite thrash bands of all time. That would have been really cool. And a lot of people were ripping this up right from the start, saying, well, they don't, it was Blackie. He kicked them off because they're not, a more traditional sort of metal style like Wasp. But no, that didn't have nothing to do with that. I mean, when you're looking at it, you're looking at the facts. All the reviews I read of Kerry's solo project touring is phenomenal, and I've seen the footage when they do like Rain and Blood. I think they only do a couple of Slayer songs. I don't think it's huge amount, and that's pretty commendable. I mean, I know the set's only 45 minutes, and they're probably going to start doing their own kind of mini headline in smaller venues, but if they've got a second album coming out that quick, then this is just, he probably has a ton of material, either maybe from his Slayer days to what he's been working on when he was semi-retired to now. I can imagine he seems to be wanting to chomp at the bit and really go forward with it, and it seems to be successful. But yeah, Billy, like you say, not cool leaving like, it's one thing when you bring up like Jason Newsted leaving Flotsam and Jetsam, that was at the start, and same thing with Hammett leaving, and they're not the voice of the band either, but Hammett leaving Exodus, that was at the start. So these guys were young and they were resilient. You got to wonder if the members, the guys left over, do they even have the energy to kind of want to regroup and reform? I really hope they do, and I really hope they do.
Yeah. Thing with Exodus, right? I mean, Death Angel and Exodus are kind of at that same, sort of level to some degree, right? Like, and when Exodus went on hold for Gary, like, like the band was all frustrated, right? They were on social media, not being able to tour and make any money, right? Like, it really sucks.
And you know what? The Kerry King's band could become a headliner hell of a lot quicker. Like Death Angel's still. Like, I think on that concert you guys went to go see there, where it was, I think it was Testament, Exodus, Death Angel. I don't know if there was anybody else there, but like Death Angel was first, and then Exodus, and then Testament was the headliner. So there's still, as a band with such a 30 some odd 40-year career, they're still opening and still got that middle slot kind of mentality. I could see Kerry's band doing their own headlining. I mean, just based on the pedigree of Slayer alone, that's really helping them out. I mean, what can you you just can't argue with that. But I just think it's kind of a shitty move to do that to your brothers. And it's not that he's left. We don't know that for sure, but it sure sounds that way.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah.
It's totally sad. All right, so I don't have much tonight either, but there was one news item that I just recently saw. I didn't realize that Max Cavalera has actually revitalized his nail bomb project, the kind of like
nice.
industrial thrash act. Well, on November 9th in Arizona, he's doing his Max Cavalera Dynasty show, where it's all bands that he's been involved with, and his sons all taking part in it. So that should be kind of interesting. So like you're gonna have on this show you're gonna have Insight, Go Ahead and Die, Soulfly. So
Oh
it's kind
yeah,
of interesting. Everyone's gonna be there on the show, and I think this is like for a one-time thing where the nail bomb is coming back, and he's got his son Igor
yeah.
playing guitar on this one, and he's got his other son Richie playing it Insight. So it's totally like a family affair. So
And their last that Soulfly album, Totem, in 2022,
yeah.
was absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely.
What
Yeah.
a great album.
Yeah, I bought that album too. I love that album.
Yeah.
It's really,
Yeah.
really strong. There hasn't really been a bad Soulfly album, to be
No,
honest. They've all
that's
been
true.
pretty solid albums. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's a one night, I think it's a one night event, but he's going to be like dog tired by the time that show ends. He's going to be like a part of every project or every band on the stage. So crazy.
That guy's like
And
the hardest working thrash dude, man.
yeah, I mean, I give the guy credit. He, you know, he sticks to his guns and he's not ready to retire, not like Sepultura, but
Yeah.
you know, I give Max all the credit for what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
And then for my spinning item, I'm going to be reviewing this for a new site that we're going to be a part of soon that we can't announce. But I've been listening to the new Bewitcher album, which is coming out September 27th. There's some really solid, like dark black and thrash, with a little bit of black metal thrown in. Pretty solid stuff. I love it. I've been listening to that for like all yesterday. Oh no, sorry, well, a couple of days ago actually when I started listening to it. But yeah, it's pretty solid stuff. So I'll have a review for that very shortly. But you can look it up. It's there. You can see some of their stuff on YouTube. Pretty solid stuff.
Nice.
Don't mind it.